Good morning. Keysha Johnson here. Thank you so much for catching the replay. If you can be so kind and type in hashtag replay so I will know that you're watching. And if you are tuning into any of my broadcasts for the very first time, go ahead and drop a number 1 in the comments so I can welcome you. And I do come back and welcome you. I am so glad. Hold on. Here we go. So glad that you all are here. We are currently reading through the 1 Year Bible together, and today is February 14th. So as you all are coming in, grab your Bibles, grab your journals, grab your water, grab your pens. Just grab everything that you need. Hold on, I need to make sure I got this right. Okay, grab everything that you need and just come on in the room and gather yourselves. And while you all are coming in, I will go ahead and grab the day's readings and drop it in the captions. When you come in and say hello. Let me know what time it is where you are. It is almost 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so with that being said, I want to let you all know, if you're new here, we meet every Monday through Friday at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, Tanya. Excuse me. And then Saturdays and Sundays, for now, y'all type in the comments, for now, at 7:30 a.m. And what I mean by that is, we started reading through the 1 Year Bible together in 2018, and our regularly scheduled time has been only on Mondays and Fridays. But this year, we have started out with 7 days a week because God said so. But as soon as he says we no longer need to meet on the weekends, we will no longer meet on the weekends. Hold on, let me go ahead. Am I missing? Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Am I missing where the am I missing the readings? All right, hold on. Let me is it not showing up? Do you all see the readings in the comments? Okay. I won't get distracted by that. So we're here Monday through Friday, 4:30 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 7:30 a.m. And so with that being said, I first found this 1 Year Bible reading plan in 2007. I walked into a Goodwill and remember seeing this 1 Year Bible, the spine of the 1 Year Bible on the bookshelf. And I opened it up and I thought, oh my goodness, I can actually open up a Bible, turn it to the day's reading, and read a portion of the Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms, and Proverbs, and have not looked back since. Started sharing it. I don't see it either. I started sharing it with you all here in 2017, and we started reading in 2018. Let me scroll back through because I know I pasted it. Good morning, Debbie. Hold on. Hold the line. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so there it is. And so that is what we're here for. Lady Yolanda walked into the room. We can get started now. Maybe that's why I was distracted, because I didn't see her name. No, just kidding. So y'all type in the comments Psalm 119, 130. I need to talk through this part a little bit quicker. I was distracted trying to find a reading. Psalm 119, 130. That is one of our foundational scriptures, and the other one is Luke 24, 45. And I remember reading both of those scriptures many years ago, and it made so much make sense. And so Psalm 119, 130 says, the entrance of thy word bringeth light and understanding to the simple. And the way that scripture was unlocked for me made everything change. And so with that being said, light comes in and it shines the light on the hidden things, the hidden matters of the heart that we need to deal with. Y'all type in the comments, God exposed some things. And so that's what the word is. Y'all type in the comments, shine your light. Good morning, Pastor Doris. Y'all say hello. Y'all say shine your light. And the more that we show up and the more that we continue to read the word, we know that light and darkness cannot coexist, right? Y'all type in the comments, shine your light. And Luke 24, 45 says, and Jesus opened their minds that they might understand the scripture. Y'all type in the comments, open up my mind. There was a time where I would sit and read and couldn't understand a thing. I would sit and read and couldn't tell you one thing that I could take away. So I love the way we do what we do. Y'all type this in the comments. We show up, we read, we reflect, we respond, and we repeat. So what we do here is simple if you're new. We make the decision and the commitment to show up. That doesn't mean perfect every single day. You miss a day or two, that's fine. You jump right back in where we are. So we show up, we read, we reflect, we respond, and we repeat. And what do I mean by respond? Everyone on this live, as we're reading, you need to have one thing that you can take away and put into action from our reading today. So with that being said, it's 7:33. Oh, we're still good on time. We'll go ahead and get ready to jump in. So y'all type in the comments, God, I thank you for your word. I thank you for another chance to be able to come together with my sisters and I probably should say brothers. I think there's a few women's husbands that watch with us. For another chance to read your word, we ask that you shine your light on anything that is hidden, anything that needs to be exposed. May your word continue to be a mirror and show me. Show me who I really am, not who I think I am, not who others think that I am. And Jesus, we ask that you open up our minds that we might understand the scriptures. And we say, speak, Lord. Your servant is listening. We expect to hear from you. We expect answers to our prayers. In Jesus' name, amen. Yes, we show up, we read, we reflect, we respond. And so if you all haven't realized, that's the flow that we have. And I have my glasses on, and I'm not used to having my glasses on. So we'll go ahead and dive in. And if you're new here, we read, we listen, and then we pause in between and have a little family chat. So let me get out of the way. Y'all, I'm excited. I wrote down some stuff. We have some stuff to talk about today, so I'm really excited. And we'll kind of, I have a heart issue for today. I was able to read last night and a little bit early this morning, so I have some good stuff to talk about today. That's really going to help us. Y'all type in the comments, help me, Lord. All right, let's go. Y'all type in the comments, hashtag I will read my Bible.
February 14th.
If the volume is good, type a number 2.
Our Bible reading today in the Old Testament will come from the book of Exodus, chapter 37, verse 1, through chapter 38, verse 31.
Share something with y'all.
Each aspect of the making of the tabernacle is mentioned in detail because each part was important to God.
Amen, Doris.
God gave the plan, and he also gave the workers the wisdom needed to do the job right. There's nothing wrong with dedicated artistry, for God built beauty into his tabernacle. God wants skillful hands as well as dedicated hearts. Moses was careful to inspect the work to see that it was just what God
My
had
hands
commanded.
are skillful.
And by the way, the word
My heart
commanded
is
is
dedicated.
found 17 times in these chapters. Moses was faithful as the servant of God to do what God told him to do. Again, we see the principle of obedience being played out here, and that obedience being connected to blessing. If you haven't felt blessed lately, perhaps
Check your
you might
obedience.
consider if you've actually been walking in obedience. That is the place of blessing. Outside God's general blessing, the earth that we enjoy, the sun, the rain, the food, the sleep, all that, outside God's general blessing on humanity, his covenant blessing is only for those who are in covenant with him, God's children.
Help me, Lord.
And that means we walk in obedience if we want to receive that blessing.
Help
Chapter
me,
39 ends by saying, and Moses blessed them. Have you taken time lately to bless those who have done the will of God in serving you? And with that, let's begin our reading today here in the Old Testament. February 14th, Exodus chapter 37, verse 1, through chapter 38, verse 31. Next, Bezalel made the ark out of acacia wood. It was 3 1/4 feet long,
Make
2
sure
1/4
you share
feet
this
wide,
out.
and 2 1/4 feet high. It was overlaid with pure gold inside and out, and it had a molding of gold all the way around. 4 gold rings were fastened to its 4 feet, 2 rings at each side. Then he made poles from acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He put the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to carry it. Then, from pure gold, he made the ark's cover, the place of atonement. It was 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide. He made 2 figures of cherubim out of hammered gold and placed them at the 2 ends of the atonement cover. They were made so they were actually a part of the atonement cover. It was all one piece. The cherubim faced each other as they looked down on the atonement cover, and their wings were stretched out above the atonement cover to protect it. Then he made a table out of acacia wood, 3 feet long, 1 1/2 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. It was overlaid with pure gold, with a gold molding all around the edge. A rim, about 3 inches wide, was attached along the edges of the table, and a gold molding ran around the rim. Then he cast 4 rings of gold and attached them to the 4 table legs next to the rim. These were made to hold the carrying poles in place. He made the carrying poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. Next, using pure gold, he made the plates, dishes, bowls, and pitchers to be placed on the table. These utensils were to be used in pouring out drink offerings. Then he made the lampstand, again using pure hammered gold. Its base, center stem, lamp cups, blossoms, and buds were all of one piece.
I said details.
The lampstand had 6 branches, 3 going out from each side of the center stem. Each of the 6 branches held a cup shaped like an almond blossom, complete with buds and petals. The center stem of the lampstand was also decorated with 4 almond blossoms.
Thank you.
1 blossom was set beneath each pair of branches, where they extended from the center stem. The decorations and branches were all one piece with the stem, and they were hammered from pure gold. He also made the 7 lamps, the lamp snuffers, and the trays, all of pure gold. The entire lampstand, along with its accessories, was made from 75 pounds of pure gold. The incense altar was made of acacia wood. It was 18 inches square and 3 feet high, with its corner horns made from the same piece of wood as the altar itself. He overlaid the top, sides, and horns of the altar with pure gold and ran a gold molding around the edge. 2 gold rings were placed on opposite sides beneath the molding to hold the carrying poles. The carrying poles were made of acacia wood and were overlaid with gold. Then he made the sacred oil for anointing the priests and the fragrant incense, using the techniques of the most skilled incense maker. The altar for burning animal sacrifices also was constructed of acacia wood. It was 7 1/2 feet square at the top and 4 1/2 feet high. There were 4 horns, 1 in each of the 4 corners, all of
Good
one
morning.
piece with the rest. This altar was overlaid with bronze. Then he made all the bronze utensils to be used with the altar: the ash buckets, shovels, basins, meat hooks, and fire pans. Next, he made a bronze grating that rested on a ledge about halfway down into the firebox. 4 rings were cast for each side of the grating to support the carrying poles. The carrying poles themselves were made of acacia wood and were overlaid with bronze. These poles were inserted into the rings at the side of the altar. The altar was hollow and was made from planks. The bronze wash basin and its bronze pedestal were cast from bronze mirrors donated by the women who served at the entrance of the tabernacle. Then he constructed the courtyard. The south wall was 150 feet long. It consisted of curtains made of fine linen. There were 20 posts, each with its own bronze base, and there were silver hooks and rods to hold up the curtains. The north wall was also 150 feet long, with 20 bronze posts and bases, and with silver hooks and rods. The west end was 75 feet wide. The walls were made from curtains, supported by 10 posts and bases, and with silver hooks and rods. The east end was also 75 feet wide. The courtyard entrance was on the east side, flanked by 2 curtains. The curtain on the right side was 22.5 feet long and was supported by 3 posts set into 3 bases. The curtain on the left side was also 22.5 feet long and was supported by 3 posts set into 3 bases. All the curtains used in the courtyard walls were made of fine linen. Each post had a bronze base, and all the hooks and rods were silver. The tops of the posts were overlaid with silver, and the rods to hold up the curtains were solid silver. The curtain that covered the entrance to the courtyard was made of fine linen cloth and embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. It was 30 feet long and 7.5 feet high, just like the curtains of the courtyard walls. It was supported by 4 posts set into 4 bronze bases. The tops of the posts were overlaid with silver, and the hooks and rods were also made of silver. All the tent pegs used in the tabernacle and
he
courtyard
cares about the
were made of
details.
bronze. Here's an inventory of the materials used in building the tabernacle of the covenant. Moses directed the Levites to compile the figures, and Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest, served as recorder. Bezalel, son of Uri, grandson of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, was in charge of the whole project, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He was assisted by Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, a craftsman expert at engraving, designing, and embroidering blue, purple, and scarlet yarn on fine linen cloth. The people brought gifts of gold, totaling about 2,200 pounds, all of which was used throughout the tabernacle. The amount of silver that was given was about 7,545 pounds. It came from the tax of 1/5 of an ounce of silver, collected from each of those registered in the census. This included all the men who were 20 years old or older, 603,550 in all. The 100 bases for the frames of the sanctuary walls and for the posts supporting the inner curtain required 7,500 pounds of silver, about 75 pounds for each base. The rest of the silver, about 45 pounds, was used to make the rods and hooks and to overlay the tops of the posts.
Exodus is
The
pinned.
people also brought 5,310 pounds of bronze, which was used for casting the bases for the posts at the entrance to the tabernacle, and for the bronze altar with its bronze grating and altar utensils. Bronze was also used to make the bases for the posts that supported the curtains around the courtyard, the bases for the curtain at the entrance of the courtyard, and all the tent pegs used to hold the curtains of the courtyard in place.
All right, we're going to pause for just a moment. Y'all type in the comments. God cares about every little detail. And the declaration I have for today, if someone wants to type this in the comments, I will follow God's instructions carefully and not treat them casually. And so let me just say this really quickly for those of you that are new. We're reading through the 1 Year Bible. Can you all see the readings pinned in the comments? When anyone comes in, I'm hoping that they're able to see the readings pinned. And so we read a portion of the Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms, and Proverbs. So we're in Exodus, Matthew, Psalms, and Proverbs. And again, our declaration, I will follow God's instructions carefully and not treat them casually. Can someone type that in there? I will follow God's instructions carefully and not treat them casually. And we're going to go ahead and just move to the New Testament. And then I have a few things to talk about. Then we'll go through Psalms and Proverbs.
February 14th. And now, as we turn our attention to the reading of the New Testament, our narrative today will come from the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verses 1 through 20.
Can y'all see the readings?
It's the message of the empty tomb, and that message is, do not be afraid. Jesus is saying, I'm going before you, and I've got this covered.
Okay.
See, he overcomes his enemies. In his death and resurrection, our Lord defeated the world, and he defeated the flesh and death itself along with the devil. You need not be afraid of life or death, time or eternity.
Say, I will not be afraid.
Jesus says, if a man or a woman keeps my saying, he or she shall never see death. Wow, what a promise. And you can rest in the fact that he keeps his promises, because his followers forgot his resurrection promise. They were sorrowing instead of rejoicing. The Lord always keeps his promises, no matter how dark the day may be.
Just say always.
And he goes before you. We'll learn about that as we read here today in Matthew chapter 28. When the women ran to share the message, well, they met the Lord. You always meet him in the path of
okay,
obedience.
they have to tap.
The shepherd goes before the sheep and prepares the way for them. You have a living and victorious Savior who has everything under control.
Say thank you,
So
Jesus.
the command is very simple. Trust him. He is our Lord. He has all authority under heaven and on earth. He commands us to take the gospel to all nations, and he promises to be with us as we go always. I will never leave you nor forsake you. What more assurance could we want?
He
We
will
are his
never.
ambassadors and should be faithful to him in all things.
Say, I will be
Now, let's
faithful
begin
to
our
him
reading
in
today
all things.
Here in the New Testament. February 14, Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 through 20. Early on Sunday morning, as the new day was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went out to see the tomb. Suddenly, there was a great earthquake, because an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and rolled aside the stone and sat on it. His face shone like lightning, and his clothing was as white as snow. The guards shook with fear when they saw him, and they fell into a dead faint. Then the angel spoke to the women. Don't be afraid, he said. I know you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He isn't here. He has been raised from the dead, just as he said would happen. Come, see where his body was lying. And now, go quickly and tell his disciples he has been raised from the dead, and he is going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there. Remember, I have told you. The women ran quickly from the tomb. They were very frightened, but also filled with great joy, and they rushed to find the disciples to give them the angel's message. And as they went, Jesus met them.
Say, as they went.
Greetings, he said. And they ran to him, held his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, Don't be afraid. Go tell my brothers to leave for Galilee, and they will see me there. As the women were on their way into the city, some of the men who had been guarding the tomb went to the leading priests and told them what had happened. A meeting of all the religious leaders was called, and they decided to bribe the soldiers. They told the soldiers, You must say, Jesus' disciples came during the night while we were sleeping, and they stole his body. If the governor hears about it, we'll stand up for you, and everything will be all right. So the guards accepted the bribe and said what they were told to say. Their story spread widely among the Jews, and they still tell it today. Then the 11 disciples left for Galilee, going to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some of them still doubted. Jesus came and told his disciples, I have been given complete authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. And be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age.
Y'all say thank you, Jesus, for being with us always. As we were reading, so there were a couple of, so remember, if you're new here, I keep saying remember, we are reading. So what we do here is simple. Y'all type this in the comments. We show up, we read, we reflect, we respond, and we repeat. We continue to show up here over and over and over again and do the same thing. And so as we're reading, we're always listening for heart issues, things that kind of come up that can be dealt with. And doubt was definitely another one of them today, which goes into like with which the root of that is obviously unbelief, and we just talked about that. So that was one that I was going to kind of pull from and talk to today, but we're not going to do that today. There's something important that we'll be talking about from Proverbs. But y'all type in the comments, I will trust God. I will trust God. And all I want to leave us with today from here is that y'all type in the comments, Jesus has all authority and we are not in charge. Jesus has all authority and we are not in control. And y'all type in the comments, I will not doubt. Again, it said, but some of them doubted him. And so yesterday, you know how we talked about needing to see proof, right, before we believe. And so I didn't want to talk about that again today. So remember, what we're doing, dealing with the matters of the heart and change and transformation, is not like an overnight process. There are some things that we'll need to talk about, then continue to talk about. So I really could have went into that again today and picked up where we left off yesterday. But there was something that came up in the book of Proverbs that I wanted to bring our attention to. So we'll go ahead and listen to the Psalms and the Proverbs, and then I'll come back. All right?
Psalm 34, verses 11 through 22.
Good morning, Pastor
I will
Latika.
teach. David wanted the next generation to know the Lord and to trust him.
All
He gave
authority.
some wise counsel about how
He's
to
in
have
control.
good days, and he urged them to call on the Lord in the time of trouble. God's eyes see your needs. God's ears hear your prayers. And God is near you when your heart is broken. When God does something special for you, tell somebody else. The next
Say, I will
generation
call
needs
on
to
the
know
Lord.
that God is alive. Psalm 34, verses 11 through 22. Come, my children, and listen to me, and I will teach you to fear the Lord. Do any of you want to live a life that is long and good? Then watch your tongue. Keep your lips from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good. Work hard at living in peace with others. The eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. His ears are open to their cries for help. But the Lord turns his face against those who do evil. He will erase their memory from the earth. The Lord hears his people when they call to him for help. He rescues them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those who are crushed in spirit. The righteous face many troubles.
The way I used to pray that
But
back to
the Lord
God.
rescues them from each and every one. For the Lord protects them from harm. Not one of their bones will be broken. Calamity will surely overtake the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be punished. But the Lord will redeem those who serve him. Everyone who trusts in him will be freely pardoned. Proverbs chapter 9, verses 9 and 10. Teach the wise, and they will be wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn more. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Knowing the Holy One results in understanding.
Y'all type in the comments. Someone drop a heart in the comments for me. Someone drop a heart in the comments for me. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because this came up a couple of days ago, talking about wisdom. Y'all type in wait, let me slow down. For those of you that are new here, we're about to head into our family chat. And so what we do is, from the reading, we kind of do our heart check, right? And we listen for things that we should be doing that we're not currently doing, or things that we are doing that we should not be doing. And so as we're reading Proverbs, it says, instruct the wise and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous and they will learn even more. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. And so I was having a conversation with someone when we were kind of talking about how my journey first started back in 2013. And I shared this with you all so many times about like not having the fear of the Lord and just being in a place where I felt like I knew it all and I was not willing to be held accountable and receive the wisdom that she was giving me. And so that was when I was first faced with dealing with pride. Y'all type pride in the comments. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I remember her sending me home and giving me these 2 verses to read, reread, read, and read again, and reread again. And just think about how many times we reject wisdom. We reject the counsel of other people. We don't want to be held accountable. We don't want to seek wise wisdom. Why? Because we think we know everything. And the root of that is what? The root of those behaviors is pride. And so I wanted to talk about that today. And so that's the verse that we're going to meditate on and read and reread and reread again. And so with that, I have some things written down, and there's kind of a flow that we have that has been working. Y'all type in the comments. I feel tricked. Like I literally thought we were going to come on and just be reading every day. And I told God, 30 minutes, I'm on and I'm off. And he said, oh yeah? All right, I'll let you think that. You go ahead and hit the live button. I'll let you think that. And then it's kind of quickly not turning into that. So y'all type in. So I want to talk about 3 ways that shows up in real life. 3 ways that shows up. And this is me speaking from experience, and just remember that meeting that we had. And so the first one is we get defensive when someone corrects us. We get defensive when someone corrects us. We get defensive when someone corrects us. And so that's one of the ways that pride shows up. Okay, thank you, Carolyn, for typing that in. And then we'll go back and I do have some declarations written down, but I wanted to make sure we went through this. We assume we already know what is best. Absolutely. I was sitting here this morning and laughing. We assume that we already know what is best. For those that are writing this down, and we're just talking about some ways that pride shows up in our life. We get defensive when someone corrects us, and we avoid advice. We avoid wisdom, right? Even though we know what it's saying, we avoid advice because we don't want anybody else's input. And that was me in that season. And I remember her bringing that to my attention. And do y'all remember me sharing that? And I thought, pride, I felt like I was the most humble person, and not realizing that a lot of these behaviors and patterns was rooted in pride. And so that's when I was sharing it. It's easier for us to identify the behavior, but sometimes it's harder to identify the root behind the behavior. And that's why I say the enemy is really, really, really tricky. We assume that we already know. And so with that being said, let's talk about a possible lie. And so there's always a lie behind that we believe. So y'all type in, it's a lie. The simple lie is we think that we already know. We already know enough. No one needs to tell me because I already know. And that made that season so much harder for me until this was exposed. And I remember that very next meeting, that was when everything began to change, because I was able to come home and deal with some things and deal with my heart. And then when that being said, when I was going into those meetings, my heart was open and I was able to receive the wisdom that I once rejected because I thought I knew everything and didn't even realize in that moment that I thought that I knew everything. And so it says, instruct the wise and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous and they will learn even more. And she's like, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to instruct you. I'm trying to teach you. And I thought I knew everything, right? Thought I knew it. So that was one. And then we see Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, And I remember her asking me, do you even fear the Lord? And I thought, of course I do. And then I remember coming home thinking, do I? And I realized that I didn't. And there's a difference between fear and being afraid. There's a difference between fear and being afraid. And so the simple lie, we already know enough. Oh, hold on. Number 3, let me back up. I know Tamika's always writing. Number 3, the ways you get defensive when someone corrects you. You assume you already know what is best, and then we avoid advice because we don't want input. We don't want to be told what to do. And then a simple lie that we believe behind that is, I already know enough. We think we already know everything. Yes, that was when everything changed again, because it was exposed in that day, in that meeting. I remember that clearly. And so I can never read this without thinking about that and then wanting to talk about pride. And so the simple lie again was, I already know enough. An emotional signal. How can we kind of is an emotional signal is being defensive. And I remember her saying that, and I literally leaned back like, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? And got really, really defensive. And we were able to finish that meeting, and I was so thankful that I came home and sat down and said, okay, if she said that, there must be some truth to it. And remember sitting down, and that's when pride was revealed to me. So again, the lie is, I already know enough. I walked in there like I knew everything, and if I did, I wouldn't have been in the situation that I was in. And an emotional signal for that was defensiveness. And what was revealed that day was pride. All right, are y'all following me? And so a simple truth that we can use to replace that lie is, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Do you fear the Lord? Is that making sense? Are y'all following me? I tried to make it plain and simple where it made sense. That meeting made sense. And I'm always thankful. I'm like, Lord, may I never forget what you've done for me. And I could have easily just went on and forgot that meeting, but I don't think I'll ever forget it, because that's when everything changed for me. I did not know that I was walking in pride. I thought that I was the most humble person on the planet, because I was just quiet spoken, went in, hello, Pastor Sheila, and I would sit down and I would take notes, but I wasn't really, really receiving, because in my mind, I thought I knew, right? In my mind, I thought I knew. And I would never have known that I was walking in pride had she not asked me the questions that she asked me. Here's the thing. You didn't hear me say, she told me, you're prideful. She never said, you're prideful. She never told me you're walking in pride. And that was so much that I took away from her and learned in that season. She just asked questions, right? She just asked questions. And the questions that she asked, again, that emotional signal that I talked about was defensiveness. When I leaned back, like, what? It was defensiveness. And it was in that moment. And then I was humble enough to come home. And I shared this so many times, humble enough to come home and ask the Lord, is she right? Do I think I know everything? Do I think I know it all? Am I always but every time she said something? And so it was revealed to me. And so again, the behaviors, it's easy to identify the behaviors, but it's always harder to get to the root of what those behaviors are. So I saw the behaviors and saw the patterns, like I saw my ways, but I didn't realize the root of that was pride. And so what are 3 things that happen when we allow pride to run the show? What are 3 things that happen when we allow pride to go left unchecked? And remember in the commentary, I think it was sometime in January, when he said, when things are left unchecked, that leaves a wide open door to the enemy. And that is why I always say, truth demands a response. Y'all type that in the comments. Are y'all following me? Truth demands a response. And now that I was faced with the truth, how am I going to respond? And how am I going to respond? And what that means is, what action am I going to take now that I have been faced with this truth? So 3 things that happen when we allow pride to run the show. We stop growing, right? We stop growing. Had I not responded the way that I did, had I continued on the way that I was going, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here before you right now, right? We stop growing. We stop growing. And we continue to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. But because she asked the right questions, because I was humble enough to seek the Lord, is there any truth in it wasn't even what she was saying, it was the question that she asked. What made her ask me that question? So I thank God I was humble enough to do that. And the third thing is we push away counsel. We push away counsel. We push away counsel. We push away counsel. We stop growing. We repeat the same mistakes, the same patterns over and over again. And we push away counsel. And so, are y'all good? And with that being said, this can apply to so many different areas, but I said I would try every now and then to kind of do the heart and body connection, so we can apply this and see this showing up in real life. Because there's somebody on this live right now, you may be thinking, I'm not prideful. You may be dealing with, struggling with emotional eating, things when it comes to your health, so, and I'm just talking about health right now, and not realizing that the root of that is pride. Where you are right now, you're there because of pride, right? You reject counsel. You reject accountability. You don't want to seek help. Why? Because you think you know everything. When I say you, listen, I mean we. When I say you, I'm included in you. So, hold on. I'm like, ooh. Sometimes I have to lean in because I can't understand my own handwriting. All right. So body change without heart change doesn't last. Body change without heart change doesn't last. And you can insert whatever you want to insert in there, whatever kind of change. Without a heart change, it doesn't last. And that was when I realized that I was focusing too much on behavior and not the root. And so even in these last 3 years where I felt like I thought I was in a rough season, this is hard, and that God was teaching me so much. He was refining things, just teaching me so much in this season. That's why I say we need to be careful. Y'all type in the comments. And I know I'm just kind of feeling like popcorn. I'm popping all over the place, but it's all coming together. We need to be careful the way that we handle seasons that we're in. Y'all type in the comments. We need to be careful. We need to really be careful how we handle some of the seasons that we're in. Because had I mishandled that season that I was in, just what God is doing now, I'm just like, God, I thank you. I'm so thankful that I did not mishandle that season that I was in. And I allow God, listen, I always say, if I'm going through this, right, whenever we're going through any situation, I start asking, instead of why me? Okay, God, if I'm going through this right now, who is it that you're trying to be to me in this season? And what is it you're trying to teach me? What is it you want me to learn? So I was in learning mode. Like the amount of notebooks that I have is unbelievable. And so let me reel it back in. And so when you all say, can you repeat number? Can you repeat number? I don't know where I was or what I said. So in what section? What was number 2? That'll help me. What was number 2? Because I said quite a few things. And so any kind of change, body change, whatever change, any kind of change that we're trying to make without a true heart change is going to be short-lived. It's going to be short-lived. Hashtag ask me how I know. And if you find yourself saying, why does this keep happening? Why, when you notice those same patterns and things keep happening over and over again, it's because the heart wasn't changed. And that's another thing where I was so heavily focused, and we need to do this on renewing the mind, and so focused on that and not really focused on the root of things. Like all of this, it needs to, we can't skip anything, right? And so even with that, our mind being renewed, if our heart isn't changed, right, it's still going to be short-lived. And so that's why it's important for us to get to the root of things and to be able to tear up and uproot. Y'all type in the comments, we're going to uproot some things this year. And so I just pray that y'all realize that what we're doing here, it's a big deal. We're not just casually just showing up, reading the word, right? And that's what I thought. And that's why I'm like, Lord, I feel tricked. I thought I was hitting a live button and we were going to spend our 20 minutes listening. And I was going to say, here are our declarations for today, and hop off and finish doing my own stuff. That's why I hit the live button. And I quickly felt that shifting. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. wait a minute, wait a minute. Y'all say, wait a minute. And so getting back to the wellness heart, this, I want to talk about this. So what are some ways that shows up? What does that look like? We blame, let me not leave with that one. We ignore advice because we think we know better. We know, this can apply to anything. We ignore advice because we think we know better. And I can say these things because I see these things. I've seen these things happening over the past, y'all type the number 10 in the comments, over the last 10 years of helping. And I think because I was so afraid of offending people, I was so afraid of hurting people's feelings, that I wouldn't say it did more harm than good, because my heart was never to harm, but I feel like, oh my gosh, I really missed the opportunity to help this person in this way. I missed the opportunity. But then at the same time, I'm like, don't go back and beat yourself up, because you only, you know what you know, right? You know what you know, and you know what you know. But now that you know better, you do better. And so with that, I'm just in this place where I'm feeling so unsettled. I don't know if that's the right word, where I'm like, my God, everything is changing. Everything is looking different. Everything about me is changing. Everything that I do, the way that I talk, everything is changing, right? Y'all type in the comments, growth, and it's okay. And it feels really uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, not unsettled. That's the word that I'm looking for. And so when it comes to the area of wellness, pride creeps in. How else does it show up? Number one, we ignore the advice, right? Because we think we know better. We avoid accountability because we don't want correction. There are a lot of people in here where you're like, I need help, 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 but you don't get the help. And when I say you, no, I'm meaning we. I'm not pointing the finger, because all that I'm talking about was me, right? I talk about me. So I'm talking about me, right? We avoid accountability because we don't want correction. We don't want to be corrected. Again, that prideful spirit that makes us think we know it all, right? We blame the meal plan or insert whatever it is, the workout regimen, the Bible reading plan, whatever it is, we blame that instead of looking at our own consistency or the lack thereof. It's not that you showing up and reading the Bible didn't work. It was your lack of consistency, right? Of going, let me stop there. I just thank God. I thank God, because I'm saying all of this, and all of this was me, and it can still be me. And I have to be mindful, especially when I start leaning back like that, asking questions. And I just thank God she was so patient with me, because I walked into every meeting. I would walk into that church, walk into that office, and sit in that chair right in the corner, I remember, and thought I knew it all. And this is how she would look at me. Like, if you know everything, why are you even here? She never said that, but she would look. I thought I knew everything. I had something to say about everything she said, and I did not know. I was prideful, and I just thank God. Oh, you said slow down. You telling me to slow down? Am I talking too fast? Or did I say slow down? All right, so I don't want to get stuck here. And so with that being said, get the help that you need. We got this year, type in the comments, this year I will get the help that I need. Whatever it is, get the help that we need. Because if not, we're going to continue to be stuck in the same cycle, doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting different results. And we know, what is that? Insanity. And that's why I am so far over the whole new year, new me. Just think about that. There's some people on this live right now that are already, y'all type in already discouraged. And I knew this was going to be a little bit longer. We finished listening to everything, right? Already discouraged, and it's only February. It's only the middle of February. Already discouraged, because you're like, this was going to be my year. This is my new year. New year, new me. I don't even use that language anymore. I had to repent for that. Lord, forgive me for lying to the people, misleading the people, lying to myself, and misleading my own self. It's not new year, new me. It's not new year, new me. There's nothing magical about the new year. Remember, I started sharing that a couple of years ago. Like, there's nothing magical about the new year. If we go into the new year with the same mindset, same thoughts, same behavior, same patterns, the new year is going to look exactly the same. What's going to bring a new year, a new me, not new year, new me is dealing with the matters of the heart. Doing what we're doing now. We show up, we read, we reflect, we respond, and we repeat. That doesn't mean every single day you can't miss a day. You just continue doing that same thing over and over. And by the end of this year, yes, things will look different. Yes, your life will look different. Yes. But we can't miss any of the steps. We have to respond. And when I say that, meaning take action. So as we're going through this, I'm praying that you're thinking and saying, okay, what's one thing that I'm going to do today? How am I going to respond? What is one simple thing I'm going to do today differently because of what I heard today? Where did we leave off? Hold on. Where did we leave off? Because I have stuff written out, highlighted. Okay. So pride keeps us from receiving wisdom. Pride keeps us from getting the help that we need. And we think we know, and we don't know. So three simple responses. We talked about the ways that pride shows up, because there's someone on this live that's probably like me. I'm not prideful. And we mistaken being meek and quiet and humble, as, I was so deceived. Y'all type in the comments, she was so deceived. But I just thank God for truth. And so what are some simple ways that we can respond? Number one, speak the truth, right? We can start with that first and foremost. Hold on, new year, new heart. Yep, absolutely. And that is what we're doing. So we speak the truth. According to Proverbs 9:10, God is wise, right? Y'all type God is wise. And it's okay for us to read the word, respond to the word, reflect on the word, respond to the word, and do what the word says. And follow through on guidance that's given to you. If you're like, I don't know, there's so much that you said, I don't even know. Maybe it could be respond to the guidance that you were given. If someone gave you godly counsel, now listen, that's important too, because we can't just listen to any and everybody. Are you going to respond on the advice that you were given? And then the other thing is, you can make one small change based on wise advice. That's one thing that you can do. So with that being said, I want to ask you all, because those are just a couple of simple ways, just speaking the truth that God is wise, asking for feedback instead of defending yourself. So if you know that you're a person that's very, very defensive, you can say, today I'm going to be mindful of that. Today, any opportunity that I have to be defensive, I'm going to make sure that, I'm not being defensive. And I know this all seems so simple, so basic. And I told y'all this. And when I even said this, y'all probably saw this in real time. And I said for the very first time ever, that simple is my ministry. And I said, you know what? Did y'all see that? I literally paused for a moment and I said, oh my God, God, I thank you. Because now it's making everything, and that just blessed me, because that's what I do. I keep things simple. And this is coming from one that used to overcomplicate everything. And that's what we do. Y'all type in the comments, Jesus is simple, right? Everything he does is simple. We tend, like the simple stories that he tells, the parables, just tries to break everything down and keep it all simple. And we are the ones that tend to overcomplicate things. And when we do that, that causes overthinking, opens up the door to confusion. And I always say a confused mind does nothing. So I have to practice. And I can still tend to time. He'll tell me to do one thing and just no. Keep it simple. Y'all type in the comments, keep it simple. So if you all don't mind, begin typing in the comments, what's one thing that you're going to do differently today because of what you heard today? And that's what I want to make sure that I start doing, is because again, we have to go from just receiving information. It's good. Like we're taking notes. Like I have a bunch of stuff written down. If y'all could see, I have stuff everywhere, because I was just doing so much. And we're going from just taking in information to responding and taking action. And that's what's going to bring the transformation. So we're going from information to transformation. And that is the goal. Like, it was good how this started out. We started out just reading, right? And I would share a couple of takeaways and things like that. But if y'all didn't realize, like, we're following, there's a system that we are walking through. And I didn't even know I was going to be doing all that. So even though it's simple, like, don't miss it. don't miss what God is doing here, because it's so simple. So 3 simple ways to respond. And I'm not going to do this today, but y'all type in freedom training through the word. And that's kind of something, I won't even get into all of that. Let me see what I have for Psalms and Proverbs. What did I have down here? Hold on. Was that helpful? Are y'all hold on. I don't see anyone typing in. Make sure before you leave, you let us know one thing that you're going to do. I'm going to skip. Hold on. Hold on. Y'all hold the line, because there was something else I wanted to share, and this was in my notebook, but I can't find it, so I'm not going to do that. Are y'all good? Oh, it's 8:23. So I think I'm going to stop here. And remember, I shared with the Proverbs and the Psalms how we can turn those in to prayers and prayer points, and kind of pull things that we see from the Psalms. And that's kind of what I do. And I'll share a few things. So in the Psalms, y'all type in the comments, I will seek the Lord and listen when he teaches me. I will seek the Lord. And be specific. So, Patricia, you wrote, like, be more accountable. What exactly does that look like? I'm not telling you to be specific on this live. I'm just saying that's a good one. But what exactly does that look like? Because that's so general, and we can say I'm going to be accountable. But what does that mean? Like, seeking the help, seeking the wise wisdom, receiving it, taking action, like really get specific. Not here with me, but just with yourself. While you're at home. So, and I just said that because I used to do that a lot. I'm going to do this. Okay, what exactly does that look like? Be specific. And I'm always digging and asking why. So, and you probably already know this if some of you have worked with me before, if we've ever had a call and it's the same thing kept coming up. So simple. Asking why at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 times. It'll help you to get to the root. Why were you late today? Because there was a lot of traffic. This is me. Because there was a lot of traffic. And I was rushing. Why? My alarm clock didn't go off this morning. I didn't hear my alarm clock. Why? And then you think about, what did you do the night before? You stayed up too late. So really, the real reason why you're late today, Ms. Johnson, is not because of traffic, not because of your alarm clock. You stayed up late. Does that make sense? Just keep asking why. And that takes me back. Remember, we would, like our little kids, be like, why? You would say something, they'd be like, but why? And then you would, why? And now, I love asking why. I'm sorry. Are y'all with me? Are y'all following me? Can I get a heart in the comments? Are y'all good? Oh, am I just talking to myself right now? Oh, I was going to share the... See, sometimes I'm like, you embarrass your own self on live. It's all right. It's all right. I just feel we're having a good time with myself, laughing at myself. So verse 11. So we're in the Psalms. Okay. But why? And we like, stop asking me all those questions. Now I'm like a little kid. Why? But why? I'm always asking why. Always asking why. Okay. Y'all are with me? So verse 11. Y'all type in the comments. Verse 11. Proverbs 34:11 says, the Lord teaches those who listen. The Lord teaches those who listen. Verses 15 and 17. He cares when we cry out. And so this is another thing I kind of jot down and highlight the verses. So verse 11, the Lord teaches those who listen. Verses 15 and 17, he hears when we cry out. Verse 18, he is close to the brokenhearted. And the way that I used to pray that, like, Lord, I am brokenhearted. You said you would be close to me. You said you would. You said. And verse, where are we at? Verse 21, evil brings consequences. And so that's kind of what I do. I'll pull a couple of things out of there So I highlighted verse 11, verse 15 and 17, and then verse 21. And then I kind of go in with the Proverbs and kind of do the same thing and kind of pull things from there and just turn that into a prayer. And so that's all I have. That's all I have. But there was something else I wanted to share, and I can't find where it is. So you guys, all of these journals and things that I am, all right, let me slow down. Are you all good? Are all hearts and minds clear? Was this helpful today? And I'm going to have to figure something out, because although I kind of jot things down and go through each book, I'm feeling like that's going to be too much to even mention or talk about on the live. So I think they'll just have to like be a different focus maybe on different days of the week, because I can't even really go into the song, what I have for Psalms and Proverbs, because we're already at 1 hour. So hopefully I said something today. Why did I say today? Hopefully I said something today to help you all. Was it helpful? Okay, good. So just think about, what is one thing, what is one action that I'm going to take? How am I going to respond? And so, hold on. You guys, let me show y'all why y'all hear a whole bunch of papers. Because when I say, listen, we're really done. We're done. You all begin to share your takeaways. I'm just so thankful, because I didn't even realize that over the years, as I was literally putting stuff together, and the only reason why these things are bound like this is because I used to like spiral bound notebooks, and y'all see, like I used to like spiral bound notebooks, but now I like loose paper, because with the loose paper I can like move it around and play around with it. And so because I would end up having so many loose papers and I would clip them, I ended up going to a Staples one day years ago, and I was like, you know what, I can bind this stuff. And he would be like, well, what's the cover? And then I didn't know, and that's how this little black Keysha Johnson cover thing came. And so when I tell y'all the amount of these books, and y'all see this one, y'all saw that it's dusty because it was in my closet, and I'm literally like, oh my goodness. And so this is how like all of my stuff used to be, like with these paper clips. And so I started binding them. And so when I tell you all, y'all type in the comments, she was reminded, the devil tried to play with me. Y'all type that in the comments, and we're just talking today. He tried to play with me, and y'all are watching this happen in real time. We're just talking right now. Y'all are watching this happen in real time, where when I made the decision to hit the live button on that evening of January 1st, and y'all don't even know, at 6:30, it was 6:30 p.m. I was trying to go live. Stuff was happening. I'm like, why all the noise? Why the dog want to act up? And I almost said, just forget it. And I wasn't going to go live. And that's why it ended up being so late in the evening. Can we just talk? And when I look back and even saw even how he tried to keep me from hitting a live button that evening, I thank God that I did, because y'all are watching in real time me finding, y'all type in the comments, coming back. When I say I felt so stuck, felt so muzzled, felt so lost, so unsure. I was like, what am I even supposed to be doing? And trying my best to even show up with everything that was going on behind the scene. Like everything is making sense, and everything is coming together. And so I went back in my closet and started pulling out all my stuff that I know God gave me and told me to do one time. So this one, y'all see, is Freedom Group Sessions. Literally had all this out, mapped out. And I wasn't even going to share this. And I had someone tell me when I shared this with her about 4 years ago, she said, I remember she would say, you need to move in silence. And I understand that. But I don't even know if I even agree with that too much anymore, the whole moving in silence. I don't know. And it's okay to share things, right? And I believe that what's for you is for you. And even if you do kind of course I know there's wisdom in that, but the way she said it, I felt like it was rooted in fear and coming from a place of fear, or coming from a place of hurt because she shared something and someone stole her idea. There's so much of that even going on. So about 4 or 5 years ago, right? I don't know if y'all remember me just showing up randomly every now and then, just putting the word unbound in there, unbound, and not saying anything. And I know people probably like, what is she even talking about? And so when he was telling me women unbound and what that was going to look like, and gave me like a whole system and framework, and I would spend time putting all this stuff together and didn't even know why. What is this going to look like? And so now he's finally making everything make sense. Look, everything is like paperclip, paper, stuff typed up, stuff written. I pulled all this stuff back out. And look at this. I'm sorry. That is so embarrassing. Do y'all literally see the dust? This stuff had dust on it. This stuff had dust on it. And I went and pulled it all back out. And I sat and I put all this together. And I typed this stuff up. And I threw it in my closet. Do y'all see that? Like, I literally sat and took the time to type all this stuff out. Like, when he gave it to me, some of it still written down. And I had to put it in some kind of order. And that's why I started binding things. And so, yeah, it definitely can be. And that's why I also said, yes, we have to use wisdom. But yes, a lot of it is rooted in fear. And so I will listen, but I will discern, where it's coming from. And so I started pulling all this stuff back out. Oh my, do y'all see? It's like binder after binder. And this stuff is not small. Do y'all have any idea how long it took? And this is years and years. And this is not even all of them. This is not even the half of it. And so while y'all were saying, write the book, write the book, write the book, write the book, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like God is saying, write it, write the book, like write it. And so I wanted to share that. And let me read this post and share with y'all why I said that, because this is going to bless somebody the way it blessed me. And I'm just going to read it the way it is here on my page. Are y'all good? Let me go to my page, because this is happening. It happened in real time. Let me read this. It's okay? I said, oh, and nobody, and maybe y'all didn't see it. Listen, I post stuff. Let me go like my own post. I like my own stuff. I said, great morning. I want to share that obedience unlocks direction. We don't always need a 12-month strategy in order to begin. We don't need every detail mapped out or everything perfectly structured. A lot of times we tell ourselves we're being wise, right? We're being wise. I'm just waiting on God. God said, this is my season of rest. God didn't say any of that, right? God didn't say that. And so I felt like I was in that season way longer than I needed to be. And so a lot of times we tell ourselves we're being wise, but really we're just overthinking and delaying movement. And we lie, right? We lie. We lie to ourselves. I'm sorry, excuse me. I totally get it. I have years and years of notebooks as well. And you're going to do something with those notebooks this year, right? And he says, sometimes we just need to hit the live button. Who y'all think I was talking about when I said that? Sometimes we just need to hit the live button, post a message, and then I always kind of not want to make it too obvious that I'm talking to myself or about myself. Sometimes we just need to hit the live button. Post a message, start the walk, cook differently, have the conversation. Remember that phone call I said I was supposed to make, or that I did end up making? Take the first step in a direction that God already showed you. He already showed you. Y'all type in the comments, delayed obedience is disobedience. And if you're new here, we're just talking, and that's how these family chats sometimes go. I end up going on a rabbit trail, but then some of y'all said y'all like the rabbit trail, so here we are. Clarity doesn't always come before action, right? The confidence doesn't always come before action. Remember I told y'all I felt like I was so confused. I'm like, I wasn't clear on anything, right? Many times it comes because of action. So because I have taken action, when I tell you all the amount of clarity I've gotten, the way everything is coming together and it's finally making sense, the way God is refining things, refining me, is because I took action. It's in the movement. Oh, and that even took me to when we were reading this morning. And where was it? In Matthew. Where was it? Wait a minute. Let me slow down, because I underlined it. Where is it? Did it say 2 times? As they went, Jesus met them and greeted him. I said, ooh, y'all type in the comments, as they went, as the women were on their way, movement, action, taking a step, Move. Does that make sense? And that was just confirmation for me this morning. Listen, do I need to get off this live? Sometimes I get so excited and feel like I'm just talking to myself. Am I helping anybody? All right. And so clarity doesn't always come before action. Many times it comes because of action. Confidence doesn't always come before action. Oftentimes it comes because of taking action. So when I hit the live on January 1st, because I haven't done this in so long, I was not fully confident, but I just said I'm going to show up. I have to go and watch the replay on January 2nd. I don't even know what it looked like. I think we read and maybe I shared a takeaway or two. I don't know. But I did not begin to feel confident and reminding myself, oh, you got this. You're not new to this. You've done this before. You took a little break. You know exactly what you're doing. And so my confidence began to come back as I continue showing up. And oftentimes the enemy will make you think, oh, I need to wait until I feel confident enough. I don't feel confident. I don't feel really clear. I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. So you stay stuck. Right? And so movement reveals what overthinking hides. Movement, when we move. And so the way it just is all making sense. And I was like, movement. As they went, Jesus met them. As the women were on the way, y'all type movement in the comments. And see, the way y'all are just throwing hearts in there, did y'all not see my post? I'm the only one that liked it. It's okay. And that's another thing. There are so many times people are afraid to put stuff out there, or they'll put something up and delete it because no one liked it. If I posted it, I liked it. I started liking my own posts. At first, when I started doing that, I thought it was weird, but I like my own stuff. You celebrate yourself, clap for yourself, like your own stuff. And so where was I at? Movement reveals what overthinking hides. When we move, we see what works, right? When we move, you see what needs to be adjusted. You see where fear was exaggerating the risk. Oh, it wasn't even that scary. It wasn't even that scary. I was scared to put these guides out there. I was so scared, right? And I'm like, what was there to be afraid of, right? We discover the next step because we were willing to take the first one. If you're waiting to feel completely ready, you may stay waiting. I stayed waiting. Like I told y'all, I stayed in that season way longer than God intended. Let me just be honest with y'all. It was October of 2023 to be exact. I knew I was supposed to take a little break. If you've been here, you know. And I said, God told me, and God said, whatever the post was, and I was supposed to come back January of 2024. Can y'all believe this? And then January of 2025 came. I was not about to let January 2026 come and me still talk about, I don't feel ready. I don't feel ready. I don't know if I could do it again. I took such a long break. I stayed in that season way longer than I was supposed to. Y'all type in the comments, but that's okay. So if you're waiting to feel completely ready, you may stay waiting. Obedience, y'all type obedience, is what unlocks direction. Like, y'all, this is happening right now in real time. In a way, I'm just like, God, I thank you. And I'm just over here like, Keysha, I'm so proud of you. Look at what has unlocked because of your one simple act of obedience. So when I tell you all, I have been pulling stuff, and not only do I have those things bound, I have journal on top of journal on top of journal. I even write on the back cover, the inside cover, every single page, the back page, the back cover, the back cover, literally. There's so much. And I was always so afraid. And, there's just so much. I'll type in the comments. There's some work to do. I have some work to do. And so anyway, I posted that this morning, and I wanted to read that because it doesn't look like anybody saw it. Or you saw it and you didn't say anything, but that was for somebody. If I could, one day I'm going to take y'all in my closet there. books and journals and books. And there are 4,000 notes in my phone. Are y'all hearing me? 4,000 notes in my phone. There are books on top of books on top of books in my phone. And I wouldn't do anything with it. Why? Ooh, can I be transparent? Fear. And I said, this year, you can't be on live talking about fear. And God reminded me that I was walking in fear. There are 4,000 and a couple of hundred. I just know it starts with number 4. Notes in my phone, taking up space. I have to keep upgrading my cloud because of the amount of notes and pictures that are in my phone. And so with that being said, I am putting stuff out there, and I'm not afraid, because I know that there's so much that I have that can help people, and I'm only one person, right? I'm only one person. And so with that, this is why. Are we good? Oh my goodness. Do I need to hop off and come back on and do another live? Is anybody gonna watch this live, this replay? I put my own self in the place that I was in, because what was I talking about? What was I talking about? Hold on. I know I lost my train of thought. With helping people, because for a season I was doing group, and doing things this way, and then you get burnt out doing that, and then I was just like, okay, I'm not doing that, and then only going from working with women one-on-one. That's a lot, because you're only one person. And so this time, y'all type in the comments, this time God is like, you're going to do things different. And there are so many people, so many women that I have to reach. Like, I know, even if I didn't know before, I know with everything in me now that, I'm supposed to be helping people. And there are more people that I'm supposed to be helping. I'm like, I'm just one person. Not meaning I don't have people helping with things, but like, is one person going to reach, more people? And so God has just been giving me strategy, and was just like, year after year after year, I'm not writing a book, but I'm definitely, putting out, and I was just like, all these guides, and I believe it is going to come together and become a book. Because what I started with was, and I didn't even, what I started with look at the forgiveness journey. Look at this. Look at how thick this is. Y'all think I do, listen, this is, and I didn't even show y'all this one. This is like years and years and years and years and years and years worth of stuff. Like, and I remember when I wrote this down, like, I remember the night that I was sitting, like, years and years and years and years. And see, and all the stuff is not even typed out. I didn't even care that some of the stuff is in my handwriting. I just needed to get the stuff organized in a way, right, that was going to help. Like, all of this is written. Like, this stuff needs to be typed out. Some of it is. I did put some of it in. But y'all type in the comments, like, stop playing. It's time to get to work. And so what I started pulling from for y'all is my personal devotion journey, this journal, because this one is the one that I use pretty much every single day. So if you see this, you see this, right? And so, yeah, doing the work, so much clarity. And it came from hitting a live button. So there's some stuff y'all gonna be like, I remember when she said that on live. Like, it's all coming together. I'm sorry, I don't messed up. Are we good? I feel like, I don't know, should I keep this live up or delete this part out and upload it with just the Bible reading? So now look at that. We've been on live for so long. So y'all take the step. Take that first step. Do the one thing that God told you to do. Push past fear. Don't wait until you're confident. Don't wait until you feel like you have everything planned out. Just take the step. Stop playing stuff. Oh, so with that being said, I will share this. I wasn't going to, but I'm not going to get off live. So we have the 7 keys and the 3 tools already on how to apply the Word of God. And so there's no way I can walk through all of this on a live. But if you have this, I pray that you're reading it and using it. And then we already have the daily Bible reading guide, praying the word and turning it and learning how to turn a word into prayer and pulling prayer points. And I don't write anything or try to come across like I know everything, because I don't. I just write and show y'all exactly what I do and how I do it. And then of course we have your Start Your Morning Strong. But this one right here I pulled out of my personal devotion. And some of you saw this already. I was so surprised because I didn't even mention it. And I'll just be transparent. I was kind of scared too. And I'm like, you cannot be on live talking about fear and they're talking about, I can't do it because I'm scared. And this one is transformed by the word. And I just finished it, and I actually put it up yesterday and someone saw it. I don't have bundles yet, but I am going to, because here's the thing. I think our morning ones, I need to. So if you're like, where do I start? What do I do? Definitely I will Start Your Morning Strong, because this walks you through how to have a God first morning, step by step by step. What y'all saw me showing up year after year after year after year doing in the morning. And then of course, this one, because we never ever have time to go through the Psalms and Proverbs. So this one for sure. And then, of course, obviously the 7 keys and the 3 tools, because if you don't feel like you want to be on here and you're not here to like do the deep heart work, it still has like the SOAP journaling method, the heart check method, where it's not like a deep dive, and then all of the 7 keys. And I did put the printables in the back of this. So for those of you that were like, you sent me that PDF in a Dropbox and now it's gone, because I moved it. But this one right here, this can I talk through this? Do we have time? This one right here is a simple biblical framework for change. I feel like this is the one that I'm most excited about, because everything that God is having me walk through in the mornings, I don't know if y'all know, I stopped posting about it for a long time, freedom mentoring, which is now Freedom God's Way. Can I tell y'all something else? Can I tell y'all how God is good? Oh no, are y'all here? Are y'all back? Are y'all back? Can I see some hearts? Talking about wellness God's way since before it was popular. People were like, what does faith and fitness and wellness and God have to do with anything? This was back when I first started my own journey in 2000, probably 13 or 14. And then I used to have Eat for God's Glory, and God just changed that to Eating God's Way, right? And then I had Freedom Mentoring, and God just changed that to Freedom God's Way. Can y'all believe this? I went to freedomgodsway.com. Nobody had it. I snatched that up. I said, as much as everybody throws God's way on the end of everything, how is Freedom's God Way, freedomgodsway.com still available? And I went and checked Eating God's Way. How is eatinggodsway.com still available? And 2 years ago, only 2 years ago, I went and searched wellnessgodsway.com. I just knew there's no way that domain is available. There's just no way. Wellness God's Way, Eating God's Way, and Freedom God's Way. The way I cried, the way I was like, what? You left those sitting there for me? Like, what? I know that means nothing to know about, listen, but it means something to me. That was just God saying, I didn't let anybody take those, because that was for you. I know it's just a website. It's not a big deal. But I grabbed them. I don't even really listen. The way I felt like that was just for me. Are y'all good? Am I just talking? See, this is what I used to do on these lives. And I'm like, Lord, I feel like I just be on them lives embarrassing myself. But I was like, those were sitting there just for me after all these years. Like, what? And so now everything has changed. It's no longer eat and listen. And even with that, I didn't realize that I was focusing so heavily on just the behavior, right? And God's like, no, it's time to go deeper. The women that are connected to you, listen, we're about to be some unbound women. Are y'all hearing me? Y'all, I'm sorry. I was not even about to be doing all this. I was not about to do all this. See, listen, I remember texting, this was a pastor friend of mine. almost 4 years ago with that name, Eric. Listen, pay attention to the ones that go, Pay attention. I said, okay, enough said. I didn't say anything to her about it. I said, okay, enough said. What did that tell me? Don't say another word. Don't say another word. Don't say another word. And so I threw it to the side and didn't do anything with it, right? And I didn't even know. And so now God is like, we're doing this, this, and this. And so I'm just like, and it's, when I tell y'all, it's so scary. Like, and so I'm doing one thing at a time, taking everything one step at a time. And I had the Women Unbound website. And because I got discouraged, like, I just let it go. And now someone has it. But that's all right. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And so with that being said, I am so excited about this Transformed by the Word. Number one, I played around with the name. I changed the name 3 times yesterday. And so can I listen? It walks you through. And let me just slow down. Let me just slow down. Y'all say slow down and take a sip of water. Why? Because y'all, like, listen, all I did was hit the live button, and it's like the floodgates of heaven opened up. Everything made sense. I'm writing stuff. I can't write stuff down fast enough. I can't write stuff down fast enough. Y'all say, it's all right, take a sip of water. And so I was working on this for like 2 weeks, and I remember, like, I don't have the time to do all that. I don't have the time. That's right, only God's approval. So it's transformed by the word, moving from information to transformation. The heart behind reading through the 1 Year Bible with Keysha Johnson. I thought we were just showing up to read. I thought we were just showing up to read. Listen, I'm writing this as if we're sitting right here together. So go ahead, what I always say in the middle of the video, go ahead, grab your Bibles, grab your journal, grab your pen, grab your notebook. This is mentorship in written form. All of this is mentorship in written form. And listen, I am one person. Just what I was just saying. I can't walk one-on-one with every woman who shows up to the live, and some of you are not ready for private mentorship or even group mentorship, but you are ready to grow. You are ready to go deeper. You want real change, right? That's who we are showing up here. We're not just showing up just casually to read the word. That's why this guide exists. That's why all of this exists. And then I go into, why Psalm 119, 130 is our verse. And I started using 119, 130 when we were doing a book reading years ago, talking about, it was the strategy of Satan. The entrance of our word, that word gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. When the word enters, light enters, and light does what light does. Y'all type this in the comments. Light does what light does. It reveals the things that are hidden. And that's why I'm like, Lord, let your light, the word, continue to shine light on the things that are hidden. Like, I was walking in pride. It was so hidden. I didn't even see it. She asked a question and she said, go read this. And she said, go read Proverbs 9 through 10. And in that is what exposed. It does not say pride. The word pride is not in that scripture, but that was what was exposed. It took that word. Light does what light does. The word does what the word does if we allow it to, right? And remember, I used to have us dropping those light bulb emojis in there. And then Luke 24:45, then he opened their minds that it might understand the scriptures. We don't just need light, we need understanding. So that was why I think just this year, I've been using that verse in my own personal reading for years, but I think it might just be just this year, because I wasn't giving you all that verse the last time we were reading. And so now we need to go from just the light. Yeah, okay, now we need understanding, right? So Luke 24:45. And then I'm just going to skip through, share the process of what light looks like. The word enters, light shines, our mind is open, we understand, we respond, we repeat, like what we're doing here. I thought, y'all type in the comments, she was tricked. I thought, we're just reading. And so when I talked about behavior, are y'all good? Can I finish talking? Or do we need to hop off this live? Because I can't just do this to just talk to myself. And so that was when he showed me that I need to go from just behavior modification. And I kept feeling like, am I really, really helping? Although I know that I was really, really helping, I started to feel like it was temporary. Can I just be transparent? I started to feel like it was temporary when there was one woman specifically who kept coming back, I'm thankful, but I said, okay, Lord, something's got to give here. What is this about? I'm helping them. I'm sharing with them what to do. Why? No, I don't want just temporary. Like, I don't want just temporary. And that's when I had to go from behavior modification to biblical transformation, right? We can modify the behaviors, even with certified in behavior modification. But we have to go beyond that, get to the root of things. And that is what's going to bring, y'all type in the comments, lasting change. So when I was sitting here and feeling like everything I've done is being undone and done again, I was like, what is happening? What is happening? Right? And so with that being said, I went into that in a guide, sharing what that looks like, and y'all type in freedom through the word. And so when I say the flow and everything is so, stuff that I was doing over the years, like, it's all coming together. It is like, when I say it's all coming together, all the moving parts are all coming together now, right? And so the freedom flow, we show up, and this was just no, I need to not say that because it wasn't random. I got on live the other morning. I was like, what we do here is simple. What do? We show up, we read, we reflect, we respond, and we repeat. I was just like, that seems so simple and so basic. And God was like, there's nothing simple about that. You know, type in, nothing simple about it. And so that's what we do. And it goes into each one of those step by step by step by step by step. When I say I put it all in here, it's all in here. And so it's on my website. And then identifying the root and all of that stuff, we kind of walk through. So and I did put a section in here called putting this into practice, because what I found is that most guides, it's just information. So again, we have to go from just information. Okay, what does this look like? How do I walk this out? How do I put this into practice? And so I did that. There's a daily root exposure page, and that'll kind of walk you through on what to do. And of course, like we do on a live, seeing it in real life, you able to identify, okay, how is this showing up in my real life? And I put examples in here. And the reason why I picked these top ones is because these are the ones that I hear the most. Emotional eating is the first one. What is the behavior behind it? The emotion, the possible lie, the heart issue, the simple truth, and the response. Same thing that we're walking through here every day, but you have this step by step by step by step that even if I never came live again, you would know. Procrastination, because that's a big one. And so you all know we've done, I've done led study groups for over 8 years now on emotional eating and procrastination. So those are the top two. And then this was just what we were talking about the other day. What was it? Just yesterday? Because I feel like I updated this and put it in there yesterday. Before I put it live on my website, about needing to see visible proof before obedience, because that's important. People pleasing. And so I gave examples of all of these things. Why? Because I wanted to make sense for you. I didn't want to just say, here's this, and you're like, okay, now I have this information, what do I do with it? And then kind of literally taking you through the framework each day. And I put a 7-day challenge in here, super simple. So I have this. So I'm really excited about this. It seems really, really simple, but it's very, very powerful. And so if you see this and you want to grab this, go ahead. And please, those of you that saw this yesterday, I just snuck it up there, didn't even say anything about it, wasn't even planning on saying anything today. And it was kind of one of the things, if they see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. But grab it, because it's going to help you. And yes, you can definitely, certainly, if you feel like, I don't want to get that, I don't need that, I can just follow on the live. Yes, but that just kind of will take you deeper. And again, I'm not always going to be here, always on live. And because there's so many different parts, I won't always be going through that step each day. So on the days that I don't, you have that. on the days that I'm not like, okay, this is the key verse, you know, here's for our soap journaling. This walks you through exactly what to look for, how to choose a key verse, and what to do with it. And there's 3 different tools. You have the heart check, the soap journaling, and then the breath prayer. And so these will be our main guides for the morning only, specifically. The Start Your Morning Strong, definitely being one of them. So I was really excited about getting that out of here for you all. And it wasn't until I started coming live, because I was walking that women through that framework in the freedom mentoring that I was doing, and I stopped posting about that for several reasons. And one of them was the lie that I believed, like, who do you think you are, right? Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are? Talking about you're going to be setting women free. Like, who do you think you are? And I just kind of stopped posting about it. But everything is coming together. Anyway, I'm done. I just wanted to share this because all of this started happening just because I hit the live button again. It took that one simple step of obedience. And I'm all on here. Was crying, nose running, lips dry. Probably look a mess. So anyway, I'm done. Oh my goodness, it's 9:04. I need to get off of this live. I probably have to do it from my phone. I'm like, can I even download this live? It's been an hour and a half. I hope I helped somebody sharing this. And I am and I'm keeping all of my notes that I have, and I had time. I did it for volume 1 for January. And my goal, Lord willing, is to do it for each month, at the end of each month. And so someone was like, well, if I get the volume 1, the daily Bible reading guide for January, do I need that if we're in February? And yes, because in the front of it, it has like the table of contents. It lists the day that heart issues are present. So if you're like, oh, I'm dealing with pride, let me go and turn to this. And then it has the daily readings, but it also has a key verse. So even if you open it, use it devotional style and just read the key verse, that's there. And so I hope to be able to do that for each month, volume 1 all the way through volume 12. So I changed it from January and put volume 1 because it doesn't have to be for January. So, God willing, I'll be able to do that for January. The only thing is for February, I mean. So, thank you. I don't know what we're doing today. Whew. So, y'all read my post, save that post, let the post encourage you, and do whatever. Oh, I just got oil on my thing. Do whatever that thing is that God told you to do. I even came on here live with these glasses, y'all, and I never do this. I confirmed some things for you. Good. Maybe we could talk about it, because listen, hold each other accountable. That's one thing. Don't tell me. And people know this. Don't tell me what you're about to do. Because I have somebody on here now. Is she on here, Pastor Doris? I need to reach out to you because I didn't see the link for what we talked about. I said I was going to be the first person to purchase it, but I don't see the link, so she might not be on here. So there are times where God will kind of like, I'll kind of be working on something. He'll be like, call so-and-so and tell them to do this. And I'm like, that's a good idea. And I'll call, like, all right now, send me the link when you create it. Send me the link when you do it. And I've been waiting for that link for a couple of days. Okay. Yes, and keep holding each other accountable, because what I need to do is make sure I get February out and put together. And it's work. It's not like I just copy and paste my notes or type my notes up and just throw it in there. It takes work. It takes work. And so, do me a favor. If you plan on going to my website and just taking a look at what the Transformed by the Word guide is, type transform in the comments. I want to see if I encouraged anybody this morning. Again, to get the help that you need. And even if you don't want to make a huge investment, a lot of times our transformation is on the other end of a transaction. And I say that And I used to not want to say that because I never wanted to come off like as a person where I'm trying to be salesy. And it's not even about that. I even had to learn my own self. Sometimes the transformation that we are looking for is on the other side of the transaction that we're unwilling to make, right? That we just don't want to make. And I'm not talking about, it could be big, small, whatever it is. And a lot of times we don't want to do that. And I can say this because it was me. We spend a lot of time on lives. We spend a lot of time just, reading books and pulling things and pulling information and not doing anything with it. And sometimes, and that's why I know that if I put something out there, it can't just be information. It's like, okay, now I need to tell you exactly what to do, because that's the problem. A lot of people just gathering information. And so that's why I've been saying for years, when we show up and we read, we're not just reading for information, we're reading for transformation. And as I continue to show up, as I continue to read, even when I took a break and I was reading, God is showing me exactly, okay, yeah, you've been saying that for years, but now how are they going to walk this out? How are you going to help them? So when I tell you that this is all coming together because I kept moving, kept doing what he told me to do, kept showing up. And it started as simple as we're soap journaling. And so I realized when I first started, it was like, okay, the first couple of days. And then I felt Lord saying, okay, what are, talk about the root, talk about the behavior, but this is the root behind the behavior. I'm like, wait a minute, God, that's not soap journaling. I used to just give a key verse and say, you can use that to soap journal. Here's the guide, and this is how you do it. I'm not even talking about soap journaling anymore. Who was on the live that morning when I said out of my mouth, wait, let's slow this down. Let's slow this down. We don't need to look for heart issues every day. We can just keep it simple and keep it cute, keep it light, and just soap journal. Who was on the live? Type me in the comments. Type me in the comments. Type me in the comments. That's because that was the morning when I realized, wait a minute, you're shifting things. Do I have time for that? Wait a minute now. I can get on live, whether I read before or not, and say, here's our key verse. Let's journal. All right, see y'all later. But this takes me preparing. Like, wait a minute. That's not what this was supposed to look like. And the next day we were right back at what we were doing. That was me. God didn't tell me to get on live. And I didn't say God said, so I didn't lie on God. That was me. That moment realizing, hold on, wait a minute. And so those seasons of us just journaling did help, because again, that was still us interacting with the word. But God is saying go deeper, like true heart transformation. Like it needs to go from just behavior modification to true heart transformation. I felt like us, showing up, reading, here's the key verse, going through the soap journaling, and even sitting here saying this, I'm starting to sweat, because I'm like, wait a minute. Am I supposed to get on live and continue to do this? These are things that people were paying for, that was literally going through freedom mentoring. So now I have to make sure that this is how I'm supposed to be doing it. Or am I supposed to be in a group? And like, wait a minute. So I'm just, making sure that I'm doing this exactly the way that I'm supposed to be doing it. Because my heart was, I need to get back on live. Because I know, they need the accountability. How many people messaged me, I need you to come back. I was reading, but I wasn't as consistent. I was very consistent when you were on live. So my heart is like, yeah. And now I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on now, because this is a lot. When I say it's a lot, not meaning it's a lot that I can't do it. It's definitely more than just hitting play. All right. Here's our declaration. Here's the key verse. Here's the soap journaling. So I'm just like, okay, what is this supposed to look like? And how is this supposed to look? I'm literally sweating. I'm like, hold on now, wait a minute. And so, and all that to say, and I do want to say this, I do not come on live claiming that I know everything. And this is not minimizing or downplaying what I do know. I just don't ever want it to get, like, I have to correct people so many times. I'll be on Bible study tomorrow. Y'all type in. That sound like, wait, let's step on the brakes. This isn't Bible study. This is us reading the word. And what? Where is it at? Being transformed by the word. I stop people before they even get it out of their mouth, because that's a whole different method. Like, that's me with my King James, all of my tools. When we're studying, that's different. We are reading a word, we're reflecting on a word, and we're responding. And that is how our hearts are being transformed, as we continue to repeat that process. And so someone was like, oh, that's the Bible study lady. No, it's the reading through the 1 Year Bible with Keysha Johnson lady. Like, I would never. That's like outside of what God called me to do. I would never get on here and be trying to say, all right, we're going to do a Bible study. I mean, I can't, that's not what do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just that's different. And I'm not trying to show up and do that. That's not what we're doing. I mean, it is let me just stop. Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? Because she tried to tell me, no, and I'm like, no. And she's like, yes. And so I'm like, is that her saying that? Or is that God saying that? Because I'm just saying, am I trying to keep, like, what am I, like, no. We're reading, we're reflecting, we're responding, and we're repeating. That's what we're doing. She was like, okay, if that's what you say. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Let's put the brakes on. Y'all not, people put titles on you. And I'm like, no. People will put titles on you. Someone called me Pat. I'm like, hold on, put the brakes on, put the brakes on. I will stop going live before I let anybody put the title of pastor on me. That is not what I do. That is not what I'm called to do. And we need to be careful of that. I hope y'all are hearing me. We need to really be careful, because people will put titles on you and put you in positions that God did not put you in. And with that comes warfare that, listen, no. And so that's why I'm always careful and correcting people. Because just because someone's showing up, reading a 1 Year Bible, showing you how to apply like the word, that does not make you a pastor. That does not make you a Bible study teacher. So I said, I must start correcting people, and I mean it, like, just from the kindest place. But we have to be careful. Like, you know, hey, prophetess, like, why are you calling them that? Just because they're showing up live doing teachings. Now, if they've been called and they put themselves out there and said that they're that, but we tend to just put these titles on people. And I understand, because it's probably coming from a place of respect, not just saying, hey, Keysha, you know, call me ma'am before you say, hey, pastor, hey, prophetess, hey, call me. I rather ma'am. If you feel like you don't want to call me Keysha. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is what I've had to say to people. And because, listen, we don't want, and then a lot of times there are people out there, oh my God, we need to get off this live. Oh my gosh, look at the time. I need to get off this live. And a lot of us will give ourselves titles that God didn't give us and wonder why there's so much warfare going on. And even with that, let me say this too, because this came to me because of a conversation that I had with someone. Sometimes we need to be careful too, even when it comes to leaders, right? And our pastors and things like that. We want to be so close. And in that season where I walked very, very closely with Pastor Sheila, because she was mentoring me and not understanding why all of these things were happening, and then coming to realize that warfare that was attached to her and her assignment, I was dealing with those things because my candles, I need to go clean my stuff up over there. Hold on. I need to go clean that up. And so I'm hearing the candle wax. Oh, that's the problem. Hold on. These things, wait a minute, y'all, hold on. We've been on here for almost 2 hours and I never let them burn that long. I was like, I never heard the candle wax dripping like that. I usually turn them off. I usually only have them on in the mornings when I'm sitting here reading. So what I was saying, my God, yes, people are quick to put yes. And so I correct people in the most kindest, loving way and let people know. Unless God told me that, that's not my title. And that's why I say, good morning. It's Keysha Johnson. You don't hear me saying prophetess, lady, what are other, I can't think. I don't do any of that. I'm Keysha Johnson. That's who I am. And so that's why I know, and I'm always don't do that. And so, even with that, that's why I kind of stopped going live too. I don't know if I remember with, when I was calling it, Welcome to the Living Room, and the type of books that we were reading. I had, a prophetess reach out to me. I won't say her name, but, I definitely listened to her, and she said, you have to be careful of the books that you show up and you read. And I'll say the name quickly and move on. And we did, I don't know if you all noticed, we started reading it and didn't finish. Pigs in the Parlor was one of them that I showed. Y'all won't believe I read this book, and you won't believe. Not realizing that that book was for me. It wasn't for everybody. And so she said, you cannot show up on live and just read a book like that. You cannot. You don't know what you're opening up the people to. That book was probably for you. It probably was not for you to, and I was just excited. I was like, my God, everything that's going on in my life made sense from this one book. And even when we read Destroying the Spirit of Rejection, that didn't go as deep. And so even with that, the amount of warfare that I didn't even realize that that was why it was going on. It was hard sometimes to show up and get on live. Do you think the enemy wanted me to get on live and the covers just be snatched off of them? He was so exposed. You know, that video went viral so fast. And I remember someone sharing it with John Eckhart and him sharing the video on his page, which is probably why it went viral so fast. And so now I am so mindful. Like, I haven't even recommended as many books because I know the type of books that I read. So what I've been doing is those that are close to me, those who work with me, you know, whether it's, you know, and mentoring, anything, the ladies that are assigned to me, those are the ones where I'm like, read this, read that, read this. It went from we're showing up, we reading Pigs in the Parlor, reading chapter 1 to I ain't say nothing about it ever again. I don't even think anybody noticed. I just moved on quietly and gracefully to another book. I didn't even make an announcement. Hey, y'all, I changed my mind. I just gracefully chose another book that next Wednesday. And this was the same area. I sat on that couch. I was always on that side. And we read, and no one even asked, what happened to the other book? And I said, thank God. So had I not, again, wisdom, had I been too prideful and said, well, this is what I feel like God told me. I already showed up and told the people to get the book, and I went through chapter 1. Had I been, who knows what could have happened in the lives of the women, you know, because that book, it went deep, you know, and so we have to, you know, we can't be too prideful. We can't be too prideful. So I'm always really mindful in the books that I recommend now. And I can't just get on live like, hey, y'all, we're reading this book. Like, I have to be mindful. Now, some of the ones that we've read have been really, really good. And because that's just what it is, again, because I've done so much. Where is it? Do I have it here? So much training in the area. This is the Deliverance and Inner Healing Manual, right? And that is just what I have been called to. And so those are the types of books that I read. And so this journal is one from the class that I took. And I think, see, and this one too. Look how thick this stuff is. Like, and so, and this was from a training and a class that I went through. And so that's where, y'all type in the comments, unbound. We're about to be unbound from some areas. So I can't just be on here reading those types of books. Oh my goodness, y'all are leaving. Thank y'all for staying on with me. Oh my goodness, we have been almost 2 hours. I don't even know how I'm going to handle this live. I think I will download it. This is what I think I will do. This live will live on here for 30 days. It'll be deleted. I think I will download this and cut it in half. The first hour was us doing the reading, and then this last whole hour was us just talking. So I think I'll split it in half. And I'll have to do that from my computer. So yeah, y'all keep showing up. That's what we do. We show up, we read. Listen, and show up with no expectations, okay? Because like I told you all, the word is enough. If there are a day or two where I get on and we read and I say, here's the key verse, go ahead and go soap journal, see y'all later, it's okay. Y'all type in the comments, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it's okay. And there was a time where I wouldn't have been okay with that, but I'm not putting any more pressure on myself. Listen, I'm just not doing that, and I'm going to show up and do things the way he has called me to. And if he says you go on, you give them a verse, y'all read the word, you show them how to respond, they have the guides, and y'all type in, it's mentorship in written form. It's just not a whole bunch of information. And I'll make sure that anything that I put out continues to be that way. Like, I'm sitting right there with you. Here's the information, but now here's what you do with it. So that way you're not just stuck with a bunch of stuff, just information. All right, so yeah, it really is okay. And I've grown so much where I can say it's okay, where I won't feel any kind of way if I get on live tomorrow after talking all like about what I think the lives are supposed to look like, and say, all right, we read, here's our key verse, grab your journal, it's soap journal, make sure you drink your water, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, and I will be at peace with that, right? Because the word is enough. The word is enough. If I got on here and we read and we listened and I didn't say a word, if I didn't even give a key verse for the day, if I pressed play, we read and we listened, and I said bye and we hopped off, the word is enough. The word is enough. The word is enough. I do not want to take away from the word. The word is enough. All right. I love y'all. I pray this blessed y'all. I cannot believe I sat on live for 2 hours. 2 hours. But I have to go. I have to clean this mess up from these candles behind me. And if I burn them that long, I usually have it underneath a tray, but I didn't put a tray underneath it. And so those tapered candles were burning for 2 hours. And the wax finally said, phew, I had enough. So let me go. Yeah. All right. What are y'all saying? I say that all the time. The word is enough. That's right. And that's what he said. He said, my word is enough. The word is enough. The word is enough. The word is enough. I saw a couple of the notifications come through. And if you grab your Transformed by the Word guide, message me and tell me what you think after you read through it, because I want y'all's feedback. And I know 2 hours, and y'all have been here for 2 hours. Like, what? I had people on a live with me for 2 hours. I'm like still mind blown. Like, who stays on live listening to a person for 2 hours? So I hope I said something to help y'all. All right, I have to go.